Now let's go ahead and add stuff to look up the expected returns. So I could write a separate database query for each combination. I have the grouped hand, and I can use that as a key in a select statement. But that's going to send 32 separate queries to the database, which is not a good thing. I want to sort of get it into one query. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to generate one query that fetches all 32 of these at the same time. And then I have to sort of go back and take my query results and somehow get them into this choices array. So let's start by keeping track of the groups. So that's just going to be an array for now. And then here, I'm going to set group equal to that. Put group in here. And I'm also going to add it to grouped hands. And then when I'm done with that loop, I'm going to set group where to join, comma, space, with grouped hands. And let me go ahead and put a closing single quote and an opening single quote. So this is a character string literal, and then I'll start the whole thing off with a single quote and finish the whole thing with a single quote. And let's see what this does for us. So I'm going to go ahead and put a breakpoint here and enable debugging and hit reload. So here's my group where, and I'm going to right click and copy value. And watch what I do with this. So here's what the SQL query should look like in draw values. Oh. Turn off debugging, continue. PHP-MySQL uses, or PHP-MyAdmin uses the same debugger as PHP Storm does, so interception. So that was the group where that I just created, and here's what the SQL command is going to look like. Select star from draw values where grouped hand is in this whole set of things. Like so. So this is going to return one row for each thing that matches in this set. And if I execute it, I get back 30 rows total. Right? So all the possible combinations of grouped hands that involve those cards in one query. Now I can also change this query a little bit to include the name for any of these that have names. To do that, I need to use something called a join. Once again, this is covered in CIS 275, but you can find it online as well. And I'm going to do something called a left join, which is going to give me one row for each of these things, whether it has a name or not. So there's going to be a name column, and it will either have the name field or it will have null, but I will still have all of these rows. So left join on interesting hands on draw values dot grouped hand equal interesting hands dot groupTand. So this finds the interesting hands where the groupTand matches the groupTand on this draw values row and includes it. And then I also need to specify which groupTand I want, so draw values dot groupTand. And let's try this query. So here I have my groupTand column, I have my expected return, and then I either have null for groupTand in interesting hands, or I have the groupTand again and the name. Now I don't actually need this column here, so what I'm going to do is change the select part. So I want to return draw values dot groupTand and expected return and name. So that will just give me the 3 columns I want, and that's what I need. So if there is a name, it includes the name. If not, it just includes null.